It's not out of fashion to put on a bulletproof jacket and a ballistic helmet. It was an effort to secure my life some more. That is after I survived gun attacks more than once, more than twice. I was targeted. My car was riddled with bullets, flattening all tires, and at one occasion, the military shot into the windscreen of my car. Miraculously, I'm still alive and nobody was shot dead in my car. However, many of my close allies have been shot dead. I have been targeted by tear gas canisters and live bullets. Every single person that I've been moving with on the campaign trail has been hit, from producer Dan Magic, who was hit with a tear gas canister splitting his face, to my close ally and singing partner Nubian Lee, who was shot on the head, to my personal security, who was targeted and shot on the eye. And a few days ago, my close journalist, who was covering the events around me in the campaign trail, was shot directly in the head, smashing his skull, and part of his brain was exposed. So wearing a ballistic helmet and a bulletproof vest is an effort to secure my life. The election is being stolen and rigged, not will be, by the mere fact that I was arrested on the day of nomination, that I've been blocked from campaigns, that my posters are not allowed to be there, that I'm not allowed to have any billboards, that I'm blocked from radio and TV stations, that I'm a candidate, a presidential candidate who is not allowed to drive on main roads or even to address people in towns. That's a rig. By the mere fact that the Electoral Commission has come out to block me, just me, from campaigning in more than 30 districts. And indeed, the Electoral Commission said I must sign a memorandum of understanding with them before they can allow me to proceed campaigning, while everybody else is campaigning, by pretending to ban campaigns in the most populated areas where we have more than 45% of the voters, and yet General Museveni, the incumbent president, continues to campaign under the protection of police and the military, by the harassment that has been ongoing, the mass murder that has been carried out by the police and the military, by the habitual arrest of 100% of my campaign team on the 30th of November in Kalangala Island, and myself inclusive, only that I was singularly airlifted by the military and dumped and detained in my house, by the fact that even when I came up with another campaign team, it was all rounded up yesterday and arrested. That proves that the ground is not leveled. There's no freedom and fairness here. However, we are going into this election as a protest. I have been calling upon Ugandans to come out and vote. This is our only opportunity. We are non-violent, so we're using this election as a protest to speak and speak loudly. The election is being stolen because the military and the police have taken over the duty of the Electoral Commission. It is not the Electoral Commission that is in charge, it is the military. People are not allowed to use their phones and cameras to record the proceedings. The Electoral Commission just came out recently and banned journalists from covering the elections. This comes at the backdrop of deporting very many international journalists that had come to cover the election. It comes at the backdrop of the European Union being unable to come and watch this election. However, we know that we are 45 million Ugandans, and we ensured that we call upon people to register massively. We have 18 million voters. When all these people come out and vote, we are sure they will be able to assert their voices, and that will change our country forever. We are going to get our freedom, or we shall die trying to get our freedom. Good enough, we are non-violent, and we are living in a generation where the world is watching. Our biggest weapon is the camera, exposing all the atrocities that are being committed against the people of Uganda. Yesterday, I announced to the international community and to the world that we are petitioning the International Criminal Court to investigate General Museveni, General Eli Tumwine, and all these other security bosses over the crimes against humanity that continue to be committed against the people of Uganda. We know that all these efforts will bear fruit one day. I live every day as if it's the last day. My life is threatened, the life of my wife is threatened, my close allies, and everybody that associates with me. But we keep going knowing that our lives do not end with us. So many people have already paid the ultimate price. And my life is not any much more valuable than the lives of the people of Uganda. Of course, like anybody else, I love to live a long life. But there comes a time when life is only life when it's lived freely. The United Kingdom and Uganda have very close ties. We have historical ties. But I also want to believe that what binds us together are the values that we share as the two nations. Values like the rule of law, values like respect to human rights, values like respect and governing according to the principles of democracy. These are values that we have called upon all development partners, all allies of Uganda, regionally, continentally, and internationally, to push our leaders to remember that they are not dealing with Museveni, the individual. They are dealing with Museveni on behalf of the people of Uganda. He's 76 or so, he says, although we believe he's much older. He's not going to live forever. We always appeal to them to have their collaboration, their cooperation with the people of Uganda, not Museveni as an individual, and to always stand by the values that they profess. We always ask them to make a precondition of respect for democratic principles, respect for human rights, and respect for the rule of law, to make them preconditions for cooperation with Uganda. What we want to achieve from the International Criminal Court, first and foremost, is to send a message to General Museveni that he is not above the law, that in the year 2021, nobody can commit crimes against humanity and get away with it. We want those investigations and the findings to hold General Museveni accountable. We are aware that there are plans to commit mass crimes, to commit mass violence. There's a plan to kill so many people by the military and the police. We want to send a message to General Museveni that the world is watching, and for every single crime that he commits against humanity, there will be a day of reckoning. There will be a day when he will have to answer for those crimes. And to also send a message to all those that hold guns to know that in this time and era, no human being must be subjected to human rights abuses. And to also send a message to the dictators all over the world that they may take long to fall, but they eventually fall one by one. The Uganda we want to live in, what we call a new Uganda, is a Uganda where there is servant leadership. There's a Uganda where the government is a people-centered government. A Uganda where everybody is equal before and under the law. In a Uganda where the law protects us the same and punishes us the same. In a Uganda where there's equal opportunity for everybody, equal access to employment, equal access to quality education and quality health care for every Ugandan, regardless of their second name or where they come from or who they know. In a Uganda where, there's equitable, balanced economic development for everybody, where we don't just see those in positions of authority throwing around statistics to explain economic growth, but in real sense, the masses, the bulk of the population is languishing, is suffering, is sweating under the yoke of poverty. We want to live in a Uganda where people are not evicted from their land by the rich and mighty in the armed forces and in government. In a Uganda where we want to live in a Uganda where there's equal rights and justice, where the natural resources of the country belong to the citizens, not where you see the president saying it's my oil, where the president is having a brother that has taken over all the gold in Mubende. In a Uganda where the president gives the gold and the natural resources and the minerals of a certain region to the wife as a birthday gift. We want to live in a Uganda where the natural resources of the country benefit the citizens. In a Uganda where we are no longer a laughingstock among nations, a Uganda that has healthy relations with neighbors, with sister countries, where we don't have to have borders closed on us. In a Uganda where we are respected and applauded on the international platform and not being known for poverty, for disease, for corruption, and for dictatorship. That's a Uganda that I envision, that we envision as a generation.